My husband hates our baby. I knew something was wrong 3 weeks after we brought Oliver home. My husband Danny wouldn't hold him. Actually refused. He'd make excuses every time. His hands were dirty, he just ate, he had a work call. At first I thought maybe he was scared of handling newborns, but it got worse. Danny would leave when Oliver cried, not step out for a minute. He'd grab his keys and sit in his car in the driveway for an hour. I'd be inside losing my mind with a screaming baby at 2 in the morning, and I could see him out there just staring at his phone. When Oliver was 6 weeks old, I asked Danny to watch him while I showered. I was in there maybe 10 minutes. When I came out, Oliver was in his crib crying, and Danny was in the garage. He said the baby monitor died, and he went to grab batteries. Except the monitor was plugged in and working fine. I started keeping track. Over 2 weeks, Danny held Oliver exactly twice. Both times I forced the baby into his arms, and both times he handed him back within 30 seconds. Our son was 2 months old, and his father acted like he was holding someone else's kid. My mom noticed it when she visited, the way Danny would suddenly remember work emails whenever Oliver needed anything. I made excuses because what was I supposed to say? That my husband hated our baby? Then one Tuesday I came home early because I forgot my debit card. Danny's car was there, but the house was silent. Oliver's crib was empty. I checked every room panicking. Finally I called Danny and he answered sounding weird and echoey. "Where are you?" I asked. "Just running errands with Oliver," he said, but I heard a woman's voice in the background saying something about she has her nose. I asked what store and he got defensive, said the pharmacy, except I could hear too much empty space in the background. No checkout beeps. I pushed harder and he hung up. He came home 40 minutes later with Oliver, no pharmacy bag, wouldn't make eye contact. Oliver was wearing a onesie I'd never seen, light blue with ducks on it. I'd organized that drawer 3 times. That outfit had never been in our house. That night I went through his phone while he slept. Weeks of texts with someone named Jill. Stuff like, "Same time Thursday, and she looks more like you. And the lawyer said we need to decide soon." I confronted him the next morning, showed him the photos I'd taken of his texts. He went white and had to sit down. He tried to say it wasn't what it looked like. I told him he had 1 minute to tell the truth, or I was taking Oliver to my parents' house. My dad's a retired cop, and Danny knew I meant it. Danny started actually sobbing, said he'd been taking Oliver to see his ex-girlfriend Jill every Thursday for 6 weeks. I asked if he was cheating. He shook his head hard, said it wasn't romantic. Then what was it? He pulled up an email from the fertility clinic we'd used for IVF. It was from their legal team, dated 8 weeks ago. There'd been a screw-up. Our embryo and another couple's embryo were stored in the same unit. The labels got smudged from condensation. When they thawed an embryo for my transfer, they grabbed the wrong one. They caught it 2 years later during an audit. The other couple was Jill and her husband. Oliver wasn't mine genetically. He was Jill's biological child, and Jill had a baby that was biologically mine and Danny's. Danny said Jill's husband called him 2 weeks after Oliver was born. The clinic suggested DNA tests. Danny took Oliver to a lab while I was at my postpartum checkup. That's why he insisted on staying home instead of coming with me. The results confirmed it. Oliver had 0 genetic connection to us. Jill had a daughter the same week. That baby was genetically ours. Danny had been taking Oliver to Jill's house every Thursday when her husband was at work. Jill wanted to see Oliver and show Danny their biological daughter. The voice I heard was Jill talking about our genetic daughter. That's why Danny couldn't bond with Oliver. Every time he held our son, he felt guilty for lying to me. The leaving when Oliver cried wasn't hatred. It was not being able to handle the secret. He'd been talking to lawyers the clinic provided, trying to have answers before telling me. He thought if he told me without a plan, I'd fall apart. We got our own lawyer. Both families did. 3 months of brutal meetings talking about our babies like property. We agreed to keep the babies we'd been raising. Oliver stayed with us. The girl stayed with Jill and her husband. We set up visits twice a month and agreed to tell both kids when they turned 5. Danny doesn't pull away anymore. Once the secret was out, something broke loose. He does night feedings now, changes diapers without being asked. Last week I found him crying while holding Oliver after a nightmare.